The reservation was for table 12. I'm certain of it. But the man now occupying the seat across from me, all brutal elegance in a black suit that probably costs more than my annual rent, is studying me like I'm a puzzle he's already solved. Mr. Sokolov, there's been a confusion with... The host's panicked voice dies when Nikolai raises one hand. Leave us, he says, never breaking eye contact with me. The lady stays. My heart slams against my ribs, hard. The host vanishes like smoke, and suddenly it's just me and Nikolai Sokolov in this dimly lit corner of New York's most exclusive restaurant. The same Nikolai Sokolov I've spent 6 months researching. The ghost who runs the Russian Bratva with brutal efficiency while keeping his face out of every database, every photograph, every piece of evidence I've ever tried to collect. And he's sitting 2 feet away from me. There's been a mistake, I manage, proud that my voice doesn't shake even though my hands are trembling in my lap. This is your table. I'll just sit. It's not a request. His voice is dark velvet over steel, the kind that makes you forget how to breathe. You're Clara Thorne, not a question, a statement. My blood turns to ice, then fire, then ice again. You write for the Manhattan Observer. He leans back in his chair with the casual confidence of someone who owns everything he touches. His accent is faint, controlled. Russian heritage wrapped in American polish. Investigative journalism. Quite good, actually. I particularly enjoyed your piece last month. The Invisible Empire, How the Sokolov Bratva Operates in Plain Sight. Compelling title. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Every instinct I have is screaming at me to run. To push back from this table, grab my bag, and sprint for the door. But my body has apparently decided to betray me by staying frozen in place, because some deeply stupid part of my hindbrain is too busy cataloging every detail of his face to remember that self-preservation is a thing. The scar through his left eyebrow, the sharp line of his jaw, the way his dark eyes are almost black in this lighting, fixed on me with an intensity that feels like a physical touch. He's beautiful in the way a blade is beautiful, all clean lines and lethal purpose. I need to go, I say, and this time my voice does shake. No. He signals a waiter I didn't even notice hovering nearby. You need to stay for dinner. It would be rude to waste this serendipitous reservation mix-up. Don't you think? His lips curve into something that might be a smile if smiles could be dangerous. Besides, I insist. The waiter materializes with a bottle of wine that probably costs more than my monthly rent. Nikolai doesn't look away from me as the man pours 2 glasses. I'm not drinking with you, I say. Then watch me drink while we talk. He lifts his glass, and the movement is so controlled, so economical, that I can't help but notice the way his fingers wrap around the stem. Large hands, scarred knuckles. Working hands, despite the expensive suit. You've written 3 articles about my organization, Clara. 3 very detailed, very well-researched articles. But you've gotten some things wrong. I don't make mistakes in my research. Everyone makes mistakes. His eyes glitter in the candlelight. For instance, you believe I run a criminal empire. You're not wrong, but you're not entirely right either. You think I'm a monster who terrorizes this city from the shadows. Aren't you? That depends on your definition of monster. He sets his glass down with deliberate precision. I maintain order. I protect what's mine. I eliminate threats before they become problems. Does that make me a monster, or does it make me a businessman with unconventional methods? It makes you a criminal. It makes me pragmatic. He tilts his head, studying me like I'm an equation he's solving. You want to understand my world? I'll show you. I'll give you access no journalist has ever had. Complete transparency. The truth behind every article you've ever written. My heart is racing now, pounding so hard I'm sure he can hear it across the table. This is insane. This is the story of my career being handed to me on a silver platter by the man himself. This is a trap. Why? I force the word out. Why would you do that? Because you're going to write about me anyway. He leans forward, elbows on the table, and suddenly the space between us shrinks to nothing. His cologne hits me, something expensive and understated, cedar and bergamot, and something darker underneath. At least this way, I control the narrative, and because... He pauses, and his gaze drops to my mouth for just a fraction of a second before returning to my eyes. Because a beautiful woman at my table is a sign, he says softly, and I feel those words in my chest like a physical thing. You were meant to be here tonight, Clara. Whether you believe in fate or coincidence, you're here. And I'm not a man who ignores opportunities when they present themselves. I'm not an opportunity. The words come out sharper than I intend. And I'm not staying for dinner with someone who what? His voice drops even lower, intimate in a way that makes my skin prickle with awareness. Say it. I want to hear you say what you think I am. A killer, a criminal, someone who hurts people for profit. All true. He doesn't even flinch. I've killed 17 men with my own hands. I've ordered the deaths of dozens more. I move money through channels that would make your ethical journalist heart bleed. I'm everything you've written about and worse. He reaches across the table, and before I can pull away, his hand covers mine. But I've never hurt anyone who didn't threaten what's mine first. I've never betrayed a loyalty. And I've never lied to a woman I wanted. The heat of his palm against my skin is shocking, electric. Every nerve ending where his fingers touch mine is screaming, and I hate it. I hate that my body is responding to this man, this criminal, this monster. Like he's not exactly what I know he is. I should pull my hand away. I don't. You want me, I say, and it's not a question because I can see it in his eyes, in the way his thumb is now stroking across my knuckles, in a slow, deliberate caress that's making it very hard to think. From the moment you looked up at me, and I saw fear and defiance in equal measure. His voice is rough now, unpolished. You didn't cower, you didn't simper, you challenged me. Do you know how rare that is in my world? I'm not interested in being your conquest, or whatever this is. I finally pull my hand back, and the loss of his touch leaves my skin cold. I'm a journalist. I write about people like you. I don't date them. Date. He tastes the word like it's foreign. Is that what you think this is? I don't know what this is, and I don't want to find out. I grab my bag, push back from the table. My legs are shaking, but they hold me up. Thank you for the terrifying conversation. I'll see myself out. I make it 3 steps before his voice stops me. If you walk out that door, Clara, I'll make sure you never write another word about my world. I freeze, turn slowly. Are you threatening me? I'm explaining consequences. He's standing now, hands in his pockets, utterly relaxed. But there's something coiled beneath that calm exterior, something predatory waiting to strike. You've been poking around my territory for 6 months, interviewing people on the periphery, following money trails, making educated guesses. Most of it wrong, some of it dangerously close to right. So what, you'll have me killed if I don't, what? Have dinner with you? Let you control what I write. I'm not going to have you killed. He says it like the idea is absurd. I'm going to make you irrelevant. One phone call and every source you've cultivated dries up. Every lead goes cold. Every door you've pried open slams shut. You'll spend the rest of your career writing puff pieces about restaurant openings and society galas. My hands are fists now. You bastard. Yes. He takes a step toward me, then another. He moves like a predator, all controlled grace and barely leashed violence. But I'm a bastard who's offering you a choice. Walk away now, lose everything you've worked for, and wonder for the rest of your life what the truth really was. Or stay. Have dinner with me. Let me show you my world from the inside. Get the story you've been chasing. And what do you get out of it? He's close now, too close. I should step back, but my traitorous body is rooted to the floor, and I can smell his cologne again, feel the heat radiating off him. Time, he says softly, and his eyes are searching my face like he's memorizing every detail. Time with you. Time to convince you that everything you think you know about me is incomplete. Time to make you see that the world isn't as black and white as your articles paint it. And if I still think you're a monster at the end of it, then you write your article, and you'll do it with actual facts instead of speculation. His hand comes up, and I feel my breath catch as his fingers hover near my cheek, not quite touching. But I don't think that's how this ends. How does it end? That depends entirely on you. His fingers finally make contact, just the barest brush against my jaw, and I feel it everywhere, everywhere. Stay for dinner, Clara. One meal. If you still want to leave after that, I'll have my driver take you home. No threats, no consequences. Just give me a chance to show you who I really am. This is insane. This is the worst professional decision I could possibly make. Getting personally involved with a source, especially a source like Nikolai Sokolov, violates every ethical guideline I've ever learned. But I'm also looking at the opportunity of my career. Complete access. The truth. Everything I've been fighting to uncover for months. And underneath all the logical arguments, underneath the fear and the professional concern, there's something else. Something I don't want to name. Something that responds to the way he's looking at me like I'm not a liability to be managed, but something precious and rare. My father used to say that the best stories required risk, that you couldn't uncover the truth from a safe distance. I hope he's right. One dinner, I hear myself say, and then I'm leaving. The smile that spreads across Nikolai's face is devastating. Of course, whatever you want. He's lying. We both know he's lying, but I let him guide me back to the table anyway, his hand settling at the small of my back like a brand. Dinner is warfare, disguised as conversation. He orders for both of us without asking. Normally I'd bristle at the presumption, but I'm too busy trying to remember how to form coherent thoughts while he's watching me with that laser-focused attention. Every time I take a bite, his eyes track the movement. Every time I speak, he leans in slightly, like my words are precious. It's intoxicating and terrifying in equal measure. Your article about the waterfront shipping containers, he says, swirling his wine. You claimed we were moving weapons. Clever theory, wrong, but clever. I had 3 sources confirm. You had 3 sources tell you what they thought was true, based on incomplete information. He cuts into his steak with surgical precision. We move art. Stolen art, yes, technically illegal, but not weapons. There's less heat from law enforcement, higher profit margins, and a much more civilized clientele. I file that information away, already mentally drafting how I'll verify it. And the money laundering through the construction companies. Not wrong, but you missed the real story, his lips curve. The construction companies are legitimate. It's the union contracts that tell the interesting tale. But you'd need access to records that are buried under 6 layers of shell corporations to prove it. Are you going to give me access to those records? Eventually, if you earn it. How do I earn it? Keep having dinner with me. He says it so casually, like he's not asking me to repeatedly walk into the lion's den. Keep asking questions, keep challenging me, keep being exactly who you are. Why? I set my fork down, meeting his eyes directly. I don't understand what you want from me, Nikolai. It's the first time I've used his first name, and something flares in his expression. Satisfaction, possession, hunger. I want you to see me, he says quietly. The real me. Not the ghost you've been writing about. Not the monster you think I am. Me. And then what? Then you decide if the monster is worth saving. The words hang between us, loaded with meaning I'm not ready to unpack. My chest feels tight, my skin too warm. This is dangerous territory. Not just professionally, but personally. Because somewhere between the threats and the deal-making and the impossible chemistry crackling between us, I'm starting to forget why I should be running. His phone buzzes. He glances at it, and something dark crosses his face. I need to take this. Don't move. He stands, walks to the far corner of the restaurant. And I finally have space to breathe, to think, to remember that this man is everything I should despise. Except I keep replaying the way he said, I want you to see me, like it was a confession torn from somewhere deep and protected. My phone is in my bag. I could call my editor. I could call the police. I could document every word of this conversation and turn it into the FBI. I don't reach for my phone. Nikolai returns 5 minutes later, and his expression is carefully blank, in a way that sets off alarm bells. I need to leave. Something requires my attention. Of course. I start to stand, relief and disappointment warring in my chest. My driver will take you home. His hand wraps around my wrist, gentle but firm. But tomorrow night, I'm picking you up at 7. Wear something you can move in. I didn't agree to. You agreed to let me show you my world. His thumb presses against my pulse point, and I know he can feel how fast my heart is racing. Tomorrow, you see what that actually means. No restaurants, no civilized conversation, the real thing. What if I say no? You won't. He lifts my hand to his lips, and the brush of his mouth against my knuckles sends electricity straight up my arm. Because you're curious, because you want the story, and because some part of you, the part that keeps your pulse racing under my fingers, wants to see me again. He's right, and I hate him for it. 7 o'clock, I whisper. Good girl. The words are a caress and a claim all at once. Sleep well, Clara. Dream of monsters. He releases me and walks away, leaving me standing there with my heart pounding and my skin still burning where his lips touched. I don't sleep. I spend the entire night in my apartment, pacing, researching, trying to make sense of what just happened. My laptop screen glows with every article I've ever written about the Sokolov Bratva. Every piece of information I've collected. None of it prepared me for the reality of the man. At 3 a.m., my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Sleep well, Clara. Tomorrow you enter my world. I stare at the message for a long time. Then I type back, I'm not afraid of you. His response is immediate. You should be, but not for the reasons you think. I set my phone down and walk to my window, looking out over Brooklyn. Somewhere across the city, Nikolai Sokolov is awake too, probably planning how to dismantle my defenses piece by piece. The terrifying thing is how much I'm looking forward to watching him try. My reflection stares back at me from the dark window. Clara Thorne, investigative journalist, daughter of a man who disappeared chasing the truth. I've spent my entire adult life building walls to protect myself from the kind of darkness that swallowed my father. And tonight, I agreed to walk straight into it. For the story, I tell myself. For the truth. But when I close my eyes, all I see is the way Nikolai looked at me across that table, like I was something rare and dangerous and worth claiming. What have I done? He picks me up at exactly 7 o'clock. I'm waiting on the street outside my building because the thought of Nikolai Sokolov in my apartment, in my personal space, touching my things, seeing the life I've built, feels too intimate, too dangerous. Like once he crosses that threshold, I'll never be able to scrub his presence from the walls. The black SUV pulls up with tinted windows so dark they're probably illegal. The back door opens, and he's there, watching me with those unreadable eyes. You came, he says, and there's satisfaction in his voice. I keep my word. I climb in before I can second-guess this insanity. The interior smells like leather and his cologne, and the door closes behind me with the kind of solid thunk that says this vehicle is armored. Where are we going? Patience. He's dressed differently tonight, still expensive but more casual. Dark jeans, a black Henley that clings to shoulders I'm trying very hard not to notice, a leather jacket. He looks younger like this, less untouchable, more dangerous. First, we establish ground rules. Ground rules! What you see tonight stays between us until I give you permission to write about it. His eyes are serious. Not because I don't trust you, but because there are people in my world who would see your knowledge as a liability. I need to know you can be discreet. I'm a journalist. I don't reveal sources or compromise. I'm not asking you to compromise anything. His hand finds mine in the darkness of the car, and my breath catches. Again. Every single time he touches me, it's like an electric shock. I'm asking you to be smart, to understand that the information I'm about to give you could get you killed if the wrong people know you have it. The weight of that settles over me. Are you trying to scare me? I'm trying to protect you. His fingers tighten around mine. There's a difference. We drive in silence for a while, heading into Manhattan. I watch the city lights blur past the window and try to ignore the warmth of his hand, the way his thumb is tracing absent patterns on my palm, like he's not even aware he's doing it. Tell me about your father, Nikolai says suddenly. I tense. I know everything about you, Clara. His voice is matter-of-fact, not boastful. David Thorne, investigative journalist for The Times, disappeared in 2012 while working on a story about corruption in the Longshoremen's Union. You were 16. They never found a body. My throat tightens. I haven't talked about my father with anyone in years. Why does it matter? Because it's why you do what you do. He shifts closer, and now our shoulders are touching in the confined space of the car. You're looking for him in every story, trying to finish what he started. Prove that his death, because we both know he's dead, meant something. You don't know anything about what I'm trying to prove. Don't I? His free hand comes up, turning my face toward him. In the passing streetlights, his eyes are almost black. You're chasing ghosts, Clara, trying to expose the darkness because you think if you shine enough light on it, you'll understand why it took him. But that's not how darkness works. And you're an expert on darkness. I live in it. His thumb brushes across my cheekbone, and I should pull away, but I'm frozen. I was born in it, raised to be a weapon in it. Your father walked into shadows he didn't understand. You're doing the same thing. The difference is, I'm not going to let those shadows swallow you. I don't need your protection. You don't want it, he corrects. That's not the same as not needing it. The car stops. We're in front of a sleek building in Tribeca, all glass and steel and money. The driver opens the door and Nikolai helps me out, his hand at the small of my back again. That possessive touch that I'm starting to crave, despite myself. What is this place, I ask? One of my legitimate businesses. He guides me through doors that open automatically, into a lobby that could be featured in an architecture magazine. Art acquisition and auction house. Very legal, very boring to most people. But not to you. Art is memory, he says as we enter a private elevator. It's history preserved. Stories told in paint and stone and bronze. I collect pieces that would otherwise be lost. Stolen pieces. Rescued pieces. His lips curve. Perspective, Clara. It's all about perspective. The elevator opens directly into a penthouse gallery. And despite everything, despite knowing this man is a criminal, despite the alarm bells ringing in my head, I can't help the small gasp that escapes. It's beautiful. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city. The walls are covered in art, paintings I recognize from news reports about museum heists, sculptures that disappeared from private collections. The lighting is perfect, museum quality. This isn't a storage facility. This is a shrine. You actually love this, I say, turning to look at him. This isn't just about money for you. No. He moves past me, stopping in front of a painting of a woman in a garden. The style is impressionist, all soft light and gentle colors. It's completely at odds with everything else I know about him. My mother loved art. She used to take me to museums when I was young, before. He stops, doesn't finish. Before what? Before my father decided that beauty made her soft, made her a liability. His voice is flat, emotionless, but I can hear the wound underneath. She died because she believed in beautiful things, because she thought monsters could be redeemed. I step closer to him, drawn by something I don't understand. What happened to her? A rival family used her to get to my father, kidnapped her, tortured her, sent back pieces until he agreed to their terms. He's still staring at the painting. He made me watch the footage, said I needed to understand that attachment is weakness. That caring about anything makes you vulnerable. My chest aches. Nikolai. I was 14. Now he turns to look at me, and his eyes are haunted. And I promised myself I would never care about anything enough to make it a weapon against me. I built my entire life around that principle. Control everything, trust nothing, feel nothing. Then why am I here? Because you walked into my life and made me break every rule I've ever made. He closes the distance between us in 2 strides, and suddenly I'm backed against the wall with his hands braced on either side of my head, not touching me, but surrounding me. Because from the moment I saw you sitting at my table, looking at me with those fearless eyes, I knew you were going to destroy everything I've built. My heart is hammering so hard I can barely hear my own thoughts over the rush of blood in my ears. I'm not trying to destroy anything. I know. That's what makes it worse. His head dips, his forehead nearly touching mine. You're not trying to manipulate me. You're not playing games. You're just you, honest and fierce and so goddamn beautiful it hurts to look at you. Nikolai, I don't even know what I'm asking for. My hands have somehow found his chest, and I can feel his heart pounding as fast as mine under my palms. I should let you go, he whispers, and his breath ghosts across my lips. I should drive you home and never contact you again. Because you're right, I am a monster. And monsters destroy beautiful things. Then let me go. I can't. His hands move from the wall to frame my face, and the tenderness in his touch contradicts everything about his reputation. I've tried. I spent all night trying to convince myself to cancel tonight, to text you and tell you this was a mistake. But I can't, Clara. You're already under my skin. We're so close now that I can see the flecks of gold in his dark eyes, can count every one of his eyelashes. One of us just needs to close the distance. Just a breath. Just a moment. When I kiss you, he says, and his voice is rough, raw. You'll beg me for it. Then he pulls back, steps away, leaves me gasping against the wall like I've just surfaced from deep water. Come, he says, and his voice is controlled again, that careful mask back in place. Let me show you the rest. I want to scream. I want to grab him and pull him back. I want to ask him why he keeps doing this, bringing me to the edge and then pulling us both back from the brink. But I also understand. This is his control, the only thing standing between him and the vulnerability he's terrified of. So I follow him deeper into the gallery, trying to ignore the way my lips are tingling with anticipation for a kiss that hasn't happened yet. This is insane, I think, for the 100th time. I'm losing my mind. But when he looks back at me, waiting for me to catch up, there's something in his expression that's almost hopeful. And I realize he's losing his mind too. He shows me everything. The gallery leads to his office, which leads to files upon files of acquisition records. He walks me through the network, how pieces move from European estates to private collectors, how he verifies authenticity, how the money flows through legitimate channels to wash away any hint of impropriety. This is actually impressive, I admit, scrolling through a digital catalog on his computer. You've built an entire infrastructure. I don't do anything halfway. He's leaning against the desk, watching me work with that intense focus that makes me hyper-aware of every movement I make. When I decide something is mine, I protect it, perfect it, make it untouchable. The way he says mine makes heat pool low in my stomach. Is that what you're doing with me? I ask, looking up at him. Deciding I'm yours? I decided that the moment you didn't run from my table. He pushes off the desk, moves behind my chair. His hands land on my shoulders, and even through my shirt, I can feel the heat of his palms. The question is whether you're going to accept it. I'm not a painting you can acquire, Nikolai. No, you're infinitely more valuable. His hands start to knead the tension in my shoulders, and I should tell him to stop, but it feels too good. And infinitely more dangerous. How am I dangerous to you? Because I want to keep you. His lips are suddenly close to my ear, and I shiver. Because every instinct I have is screaming at me to lock you away somewhere safe where no one can touch you, where you can't run from me, where you're mine and only mine. But I know that's exactly how to lose you. You're right. My eyes close as his fingers work magic on my tight muscles. I won't be caged. I know, so I have to be patient. I have to show you that the cage I'm building isn't a prison. It's protection, safety, home. His mouth brushes the shell of my ear. But my patience is finite, Clara. And every moment you're near me, it's slipping. I should move. I should stand up and put distance between us. Instead, I let my head fall back against his stomach, and I hear his sharp intake of breath. What are you doing to me? He murmurs. And it sounds like an accusation and a prayer all at once. I could ask you the same thing. His hands slide from my shoulders down my arms, and then he's pulling me up out of the chair, turning me to face him. We're chest to chest now, and I have to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. I'm going to kiss you, he says, and it's not a question. My pulse skyrockets. You said I'd have to beg. You are begging. His thumb traces my lower lip. Your body is begging even if your mouth won't. Your pupils are dilated. Your breath is coming fast. Your pulse is racing. Every part of you is screaming yes, even while that brilliant mind of yours is trying to find reasons to say no. Maybe I like the anticipation. Maybe you're terrified of what happens when we stop fighting this. His other hand settles at my hip, pulling me closer. Maybe you know that once I kiss you, once I taste you, there's no going back. We'll both be ruined for anyone else. That's quite an ego you have. It's not ego if it's true. He leans in, and I can feel his breath on my lips. Tell me no, Clara. If you don't want this, tell me no, and I'll stop. I should say no. Everything logical in my brain is screaming at me to say no. I don't, the words catch in my throat. You don't what? His lips are barely a whisper away from mine now. I don't want you to stop. The confession is barely out of my mouth before his lips are on mine, and the world catches fire. It's not gentle. It's not sweet. It's consuming and desperate and fierce, like we're both trying to devour each other. His hand fists in my hair, angling my head exactly where he wants it, and his other arm bands around my waist, lifting me until I'm on my toes, pressed completely against him. I can feel every hard plane of his body, can feel the evidence of exactly how much he wants me, and I should be alarmed, but instead I'm arching into him, my hands clutching his shoulders like he's the only solid thing in a spinning world. He kisses like he does everything else, with complete control and utter focus. Like I'm the only thing that exists in this moment. Like he's been starving for me, and I'm the first sustenance he's had in years. When his tongue traces the seam of my lips, I open for him without hesitation, and the groan that rumbles through his chest makes me dizzy with want. This is insane. This is wrong. This is everything I shouldn't be doing. I don't care. His hands are everywhere. My hair, my waist, my hips, sliding up my ribs, stopping just below my breasts. I make a sound that might be a whimper or a plea, and he swallows it, kissing me deeper, harder. I'm drowning in him, in his taste, his scent, the feel of his body against mine. Every nerve ending is on fire, and I want more. I want everything. His phone buzzes in his pocket. He ignores it. It buzzes again, insistent. He tears his mouth from mine with a Russian curse that I don't understand but definitely sounds profane. His forehead drops to mine, and we're both breathing hard, neither of us willing to step back. I have to take this, he says, and his voice is wrecked. Okay. I don't want to. I know. He kisses me again, quick and hard, like he can't help himself. Then he pulls out his phone, and whatever he sees on the screen makes his entire body go rigid. I need to deal with something. His eyes are suddenly cold. Dangerous? The man from the restaurant is back, the glimpse of vulnerability gone. Stay here. What's wrong? Nothing you need to worry about. He's already moving toward the door. Don't leave this room. Don't touch anything else. Just stay. Then he's gone, and I'm left standing in his office. My lips still tingling from his kiss, my heart still racing, trying to process what just happened. I kissed Nikolai Sokolov. No, he kissed me, and I kissed him back like my life depended on it. What am I doing? I should leave. I should walk out of this building and never look back. This is so far beyond inappropriate, I can't even see the line anymore. But I can still taste him on my lips, can still feel the ghost of his hands on my body. And I hate how much I want more. He's gone for 20 minutes. I spend the first 5 minutes pacing his office, replaying that kiss in my head on an endless loop. The next 5 minutes trying to convince myself to leave. The last 10 minutes doing exactly what he told me not to do, snooping. I'm a journalist. It's literally my job. His desk is immaculate. Everything has a place. But there's a folder sitting slightly askew, like he was looking at it before I arrived and didn't put it back properly. I shouldn't look. I look. Inside are surveillance photos of me, leaving my apartment building, getting coffee at my usual cafe, walking into the Manhattan Observer offices, at the library in Central Park. There are dozens of them, dated over the past 2 months. My blood runs cold, then hot, then cold again. He's been watching me, long before the restaurant, long before the accidental table mix-up. There was no accident. The door opens behind me. I spin around, the folder still in my hands, and Nikolai stops in the doorway. His eyes go to the photos, then to my face. Clara? You've been following me. My voice is shaking. For months. The restaurant wasn't coincidence. You planned it. You manipulated everything. Yes. He doesn't even try to deny it. He steps into the room and closes the door behind him. I've been watching you since your first article about my organization. You're insane. I throw the folder at him. Photos scatter across the floor between us. You're actually insane. This is stalking. This is necessary. His voice is hard now, all business. You were asking questions about my world, talking to people who could have put you in danger. I needed to know who you were, what your agenda was, whether you were a threat. So you stalked me. I protected you. His control cracks, just for a moment. Do you have any idea how many people wanted you dead after your second article? How many times I had to intervene to keep you safe while you blundered around my territory like you were invincible? I feel like I can't breathe. You had no right. I had every right. He moves closer and I back up until I hit the desk. You made yourself my problem the moment you started writing about my world. And then I made the mistake of actually reading your work, of seeing the woman behind the words, of becoming interested. Interested. I laugh, and it sounds slightly hysterical. Is that what you call this? Because it looks like obsession. It is obsession. He's in front of me now, hands braced on the desk on either side of me, trapping me. From the moment I saw your photograph, read your words, understood your mind, I was obsessed. And then I saw you in person at that restaurant, and obsession became something else. What? What did it become? Inevitable. His eyes are blazing. You became inevitable, Clara. My inevitable destruction or salvation. I haven't figured out which yet. I'm not some object you can collect like your art. I shove at his chest, but he doesn't budge. I'm a person, with my own life and my own choices, and you don't get to make those choices for me? You're right. His hand comes up to cup my face, and I hate that I lean into it. Hate that even furious and betrayed, my body still responds to his touch. You have every right to walk out of here and never speak to me again. To write your article exposing exactly what I am. To hate me. I should. Yes, you should. His thumb strokes across my cheekbone. But you won't. You don't know that. I know you, Clara. I know you've been alone since your father died. I know you throw yourself into your work because it's safer than letting anyone close. I know you're terrified of caring about someone and losing them the way you lost him. His forehead touches mine. And I know that everything you're feeling right now, the anger, the betrayal, the fear, is nothing compared to what you felt when I kissed you. You arrogant. He kisses me again, hard and demanding and utterly unapologetic. And I should bite him, should shove him away, should do literally anything except kiss him back. I kiss him back, because he's right. Damn him, he's right. The anger is real, the betrayal is real, but underneath it all is this pull toward him that I can't explain and can't resist. This feeling that we're two broken pieces that somehow fit together despite all the jagged edges. When he pulls back, we're both breathing hard again. I'm not sorry I watched you, he says against my lips. I'm not sorry I engineered that dinner. I'm not sorry for any of it, because it brought you here, to me, where you belong. I don't belong to anyone. Not yet. He steps back, and the loss of his heat leaves me cold. But you will, because this thing between us, it's not going away, Clara. You can fight it all you want, but it's already too late, for both of us. I should leave. Yes, you should. He picks up the scattered photos, placing them back in the folder with careful precision. But you're not going to, because as angry as you are, you're also curious. You want to know what happens next. You want to see how far this goes. You think you know me so well. I know you better than you know yourself. He holds out his hand. Stay, please. Let me show you the rest. And if at the end of the night you still want to leave, I'll let you go. No more interference, no more manipulation. Just give me tonight. I should say no. I should walk out right now and never look back. Instead, I take his hand. Because he's right about one thing. I need to know how this ends, even if it destroys us both. He takes me to the roof. The city spreads out below us in a glittering sprawl of lights and life. The wind is cold up here, and without a word, Nikolai shrugs out of his leather jacket and drapes it over my shoulders. It smells like him, and I have to resist the urge to bury my face in it. This is my favorite place in the city, he says, leaning against the railing. Up here, everything seems small, manageable. All the violence and chaos and darkness. From this height, it's just lights in the dark. Is that how you justify what you do, I ask, joining him at the railing, by making it small? I don't justify what I do. He's quiet for a moment. I accept it. I was born into this world, Clara. My father was Bratva, his father before him. I never had a choice about what I would become, only about how I would do it. Everyone has a choice, do they? He turns to look at me. Your father chose to chase a story, even though it put him in danger. You chose to follow in his footsteps, even though you knew what it cost him. We all make choices within the constraints of who we are. That's a fatalistic way of looking at life. It's a realistic way. His hand finds mine on the railing, fingers threading through mine. I'm not a good man, Clara. I won't pretend to be. I've done things that would make you sick. I'll probably do more of them before this is over, but I'm trying to be better for you. You can't change who you are for someone else. It doesn't work that way. I'm not changing who I am. He pulls me closer until I'm tucked against his side. I'm choosing which parts of myself to feed. The part that builds instead of just destroying. The part that protects instead of just taking. You make me want to be the man my mother thought I could be, before my father beat it out of me. My heart aches at the raw honesty in his voice. Nikolai, I need you to understand something. He turns me to face him, hands on my shoulders. I'm not going to let you go. I know that makes me a monster. I know that's toxic and possessive and everything you should run from. But I'm telling you now, honestly, so you can make an informed choice. If you stay, if you keep seeing me, if you let this develop, I will make you mine in every way that matters. And I won't share. I won't be casual. I won't be anything less than completely, utterly obsessed with you. That's not healthy. No, it's not. A ghost of a smile crosses his face. But it's honest. And isn't that what you're always chasing? The truth? The truth is complicated. The truth is simple. His hands slide up to cup my face. I want you. You want me, even though you don't want to want me. Everything else is just noise. The city lights reflect in his dark eyes, and up here, away from the gallery and the photos and the weight of who he is, he almost looks young, vulnerable, human. What if I hurt you, I whisper. You will. He says it with certainty. And I'll probably hurt you too. But maybe we'll hurt each other less than the world would hurt us separately. It's the most broken, beautiful thing anyone has ever said to me. I'm still angry about the photos, I say. You should be. And I don't trust you. You shouldn't, his lips curve. But you want me anyway. Unfortunately. He kisses me again, and this time it's different. Softer. Almost tender. Like he's savoring it instead of trying to consume me. The wind whips around us, and I'm cold everywhere except where his hands are touching me. Where his mouth is moving against mine. When we finally break apart, I'm dizzy. Come home with me, he says. Not for just to stay. I have a guest room. I want you somewhere I know you're safe. I have an apartment. That doesn't have security. That doesn't have armed guards. That doesn't have me. His jaw is tight. There are people who would hurt you to get to me now. Please, Clara, just for tonight. Let me know you're protected. It's the please that breaks me. This man who commands an empire with absolute authority, begging me to let him keep me safe. Just for tonight, I say. The relief on his face is palpable. His penthouse is in Midtown, and it's exactly what I expected. Expensive, minimalist, controlled. Floor-to-ceiling windows with views of the city. Furniture that looks like it belongs in a design magazine. Everything in its place. The guest room is down that hall, he says, pointing. There's clothes in the closet that should fit you. Everything you need is already there. You were very confident I'd agree to stay. I was very hopeful. He runs a hand through his hair, and it's the first time I've seen him do something that looks uncertain. I'll be in my office if you need anything. Door's always open. Nikolai. I catch his arm as he starts to walk away. Thank you for being honest, even when the truth is uncomfortable. Something softens in his expression. Get some rest, Clara. Tomorrow I'll show you more, but tonight just rest. You're safe here. I want to tell him that I don't feel safe anywhere anymore, least of all around him. That he's the most dangerous thing I've ever encountered. And not because of the violence he commands, but because of what he makes me feel. Instead, I just nod and head to the guest room. It's beautiful. Huge bed with soft linens. Connected bathroom with a shower that has approximately 17 different settings. And in the closet, like he said, there are clothes, women's clothes, in my exact size. More evidence of how thoroughly he's been planning this. I should be creeped out. Instead, I find myself smiling as I pull on one of his t-shirts instead of the provided pajamas. It smells like him, and I sleep better than I have in months. I wake up to voices, angry voices speaking rapid Russian just outside my door. I glance at my phone. It's 3 a.m. I should stay in bed. Should mind my own business. Instead, I crack open the door. Nikolai is in the hallway with 2 men I don't recognize. One of them is holding a tablet, showing him something. And even from here, I can see the tension in Nikolai's shoulders, the deadly calm in his posture that somehow seems more frightening than anger would be. Told you to handle it quietly, he's saying in English, presumably for the benefit of whoever's on the tablet screen. We did. The man with the tablet sounds defensive, but Volkov found out anyway. He's threatening to... I don't care what he's threatening. Nikolai's voice is ice. He touches anything that's mine, and I'll bury him and his entire organization before sunrise. Are we clear? The man nods hastily. Nikolai's eyes flick to my door, and I realize he knows I'm listening. We'll discuss this in my office. Go. The men leave quickly, and Nikolai walks to my door. Pushing it open, in the dim light from the hallway, he looks dangerous again. Not the man who kissed me on the rooftop, but the Pakan who commands absolute loyalty. How much did you hear? He asks. Enough to know someone named Volkov is a problem. Dmitry Volkov. He leans against the door frame, and I can see exhaustion in the lines of his face. He runs a competing organization. We've been negotiating territory. It's not going well. Is this about me? Everything is about you now. He says it like it's a simple fact. He knows you're important to me. That makes you a target. Fear skitters down my spine. Nikolai. I won't let him touch you. He steps into the room, and suddenly the space feels much smaller. I will burn this entire city down before I let anyone hurt you. Do you understand? You barely know me. I know enough. He sits on the edge of my bed, and the casual intimacy of it steals my breath. I know you're brilliant and brave and stubborn. I know you make me want things I swore I'd never want. I know that if something happened to you because of me, it would destroy whatever's left of my humanity. That's too much pressure to put on one person. I know. His hand finds mine in the darkness. But it's the truth, and you wanted truth. We sit there in silence for a moment, hands linked, the weight of his confession hanging between us. Stay with me, he says finally. Not in the guest room, in my room. Just, I need to know you're close. Nikolai, we can't... I'm not asking for sex, Clara. I'm asking you to let me hold you while I try to remember how to sleep without nightmares. His voice is raw. Please? It's the second please of the night, and I'm just as powerless against it as I was the first time. Okay, I whisper. He leads me down the hall to his bedroom. It's as minimalist as the rest of the penthouse, but somehow more personal. There are books on the nightstand, a photo of a woman who must be his mother on the dresser. He pulls back the covers, and we climb in fully clothed. For a moment, we just lie there, not touching, both of us uncertain. Then he pulls me against his chest, his arm banding around my waist, his face buried in my hair. Thank you, he breathes against my neck. I close my eyes and let myself sink into him, into the warmth of his body, the steady beat of his heart against my back. The safety I feel despite knowing he's the most dangerous man in New York. Tomorrow, I'll worry about what this means. Tomorrow, I'll figure out how to write this story without destroying us both. Tonight, I just let myself be held by a monster who somehow makes me feel more human than I have in years. I wake up alone. The sheets beside me are cold, which means Nikolai's been gone for a while. Morning light streams through the floor-to-ceiling windows, and for a disoriented moment, I forget where I am. Then it all comes rushing back. The kiss, the photos, the rooftop, falling asleep in his arms. What am I doing? My phone is buzzing on the nightstand. 7 missed calls from my editor, Marcus. 3 texts, each more urgent than the last. Clara, where are you? You missed our meeting. Call me. We need to talk about your Sokolov piece. Now. My stomach drops. I never told Marcus I was meeting with Nikolai. I've been keeping this entire thing off the books, knowing how ethically questionable it is. How does he know? I'm pulling on my jeans from yesterday when Nikolai appears in the doorway, 2 cups of coffee in his hands. He's already dressed in a suit, looking every inch the powerful businessman. But his eyes are soft when they land on me. You're awake, he says, offering me one of the cups. I didn't want to disturb you. You were sleeping so peacefully. My editor is looking for me, I say, taking the coffee. He knows about you, about us. I don't know how, but I do. Nikolai's jaw tightens. There were photographers outside the restaurant 2 nights ago. I had my people confiscate their cameras, but apparently one of them got a shot off first. It hit the gossip blogs this morning. Nothing naming you yet, but if your editor saw it, he'd recognize me. I sink onto the edge of the bed, nausea rising. This is bad. If they think I'm personally involved with you, my career is over. So we go public, he says. We tell them the truth. You're writing a piece, I'm cooperating. Yes, there's a personal connection developing, but that doesn't erase your work. You don't understand how this works. I set the coffee down before I spill it. They'll kill the piece and question every article I've ever written. I've spent years building a reputation for being clean and objective. One photo with you and it all looks compromised. So write for someone else, or don't write about me at all. He crouches in front of me, hands on my knees. Your career is important, I get that. But is it more important than this? Than us? There is no us. The words scrape my throat raw. We've known each other 3 days. 3 days of you pulling strings and me breaking every ethical rule I have. And now everything I've worked for is imploding. Something shudders in his expression. I see. My phone rings. Marcus. I answer. Marcus, I'm sorry, Where are you? His voice is tight. Tell me you're not with him. I can explain. Clara, what were you thinking? He exhales hard. I saw the photo. Then I pulled your notes. You've been investigating Sokolov for months. And now you're what, dating him? It's not like that. Then what is it like? Because from here it looks like you got too close to a source and torched your objectivity. How long has this been going on? 3 days, I say quietly. I ran into him at a restaurant. There are no coincidences with men like Sokolov. Another long breath. I'm killing your piece and putting you on leave pending an ethics review. If you're lucky, you'll be reassigned. If you're not, Marcus, please. I'm sorry, Clara. I know how hard you've worked, but you crossed a line. Stay away from him. Whatever he's promised you, whatever you think this is, it's not worth your career. He hangs up. The silence in the room is deafening. I can feel Nikolai watching me, but I can't look at him. If I look at him, I'll either scream or cry, and I refuse to do either. Clara, I need to go. I grab my bag, shoving my phone inside. I need to fix this. I need to talk to Marcus in person. Explain. Explain what? Nikolai's voice is careful. That I manipulated you into this? That would be the truth. Stop. I finally look at him, and the concern in his eyes makes my chest ache. Stop trying to take the blame. I made my own choices. I knew better, and I did it anyway. Because I pushed you. Because I engineered situations because I wanted to. The confession tears out of me. Because from the moment you sat down at that table, I wanted you. Even knowing what you are, what you do, how dangerous you are, I wanted you anyway. And I let that want compromise everything I believe in. He crosses to me in 3 strides, hands framing my face. Then don't walk away. Stay. We'll figure this out together. There's nothing to figure out. I pull back from his touch because if I don't, I'll crumble. This was a mistake. All of it. I never should have stayed for that first dinner. I never should have come here. I never should have let me what? Make you feel something? His voice turns hard. Let yourself be happy for 5 goddamn seconds. I can't be happy with you. The words echo in the space between us. Don't you understand? You're a criminal. You hurt people. You've killed people. And I'm a journalist who's supposed to expose people like you, not fall into bed with them. We haven't even slept together. That's not the point, I'm shouting now, all my fear and frustration pouring out. The point is I can't do this. I can't be with you and be who I am. I have to choose. And I'm choosing my career, my integrity, the life I built before you crashed into it. The silence that follows is crushing. Nikolai's face is carefully blank, but I can see the muscle ticking in his jaw. I see, he says finally. So last night meant nothing. The connection we have means nothing. I mean nothing. That's not what I said, it's exactly what you said. He steps back, and the distance feels like a chasm. You're choosing a career that just put you on leave over a man who would burn the world down to keep you safe. That tells me everything I need to know about your priorities. That's not fair. Fair? His laugh is bitter. You want to talk about fair? I opened myself up to you. I showed you parts of myself I've never shown anyone. I broke every rule I've ever made because you made me want to be better, and you're walking away because it got complicated. It's not just complicated, it's impossible. Tears are burning behind my eyes now. You live in a world of violence and crime. I live in a world of truth and ethics. Those things don't coexist, Nikolai. They can't. They could if you were brave enough to let them. The accusation stings like a slap. I'm not the coward here. I'm being realistic. You're the one living in a fantasy where this could actually work. Get out. His voice is ice now, all the warmth from this morning gone. If you're so certain this is wrong, then leave. But don't expect me to wait around while you figure out if your career is worth more than what we have. My voice breaks. I don't expect anything from you. Good, because you'll get nothing. He turns away from me, looking out the window at the city below. My driver will take you home. Lose my number. Forget you ever met me. Write your article if you want. I won't stop you. We're done. Every word is a knife, but I deserve it. I deserve all of it. I make it to the door before my resolve cracks. I'm sorry, I whisper. He doesn't turn around. So am I. The drive back to my apartment is a blur. I spend it staring at my phone, at the photo Marcus mentioned. It's blurry, taken from across the street, but it's unmistakably me and Nikolai outside the restaurant, his hand at the small of my back. The way I'm looking up at him. Even in a grainy photograph, the connection between us is obvious. The comments are already vicious. Who's the mystery woman? Sokolov's got a type. Journalists who get too close. R.I.P. her career. They're not wrong. I make it inside my building, up the stairs, into my apartment. It's exactly as I left it 3 days ago, but it feels different now. Smaller, emptier. I've been alone in this apartment for 4 years. It never bothered me before. Now it feels like a tomb. My phone rings again. This time it's not Marcus. It's an unknown number. I answer without thinking. Clara Thorne? A man's voice, accented. Russian. Every nerve in my body goes on alert. Who is this? A friend. Or I could be, if you're smart. A pause. You've been spending time with Nikolai Sokolov. That was unwise. I don't know what you're... Don't insult my intelligence. The voice is pleasant, almost friendly, which makes it more frightening. I'm Dmitry Volkov. Perhaps Nikolai mentioned me. We're business rivals, and I have a proposition for you. My hand is shaking. I'm not interested. Oh, I think you are. You see, you know things about Sokolov now. Personal things. Things that could be very valuable to the right people. And I'm willing to pay handsomely for information. I'm not giving you anything about Nikolai. Not even to save your career? His voice drops. I know about your editor, about the ethics review. But what if I told you I could make that go away? What if I told you I have connections at your newspaper? And one word from me could not only save your job but get you promoted. In exchange for what? Small things. When he sleeps. Who visits him, his routines. Nothing that would directly harm him, just information. Surely you want to salvage something from this disaster. No. The word comes out stronger than I feel. I'm not betraying him. Not for you, not for anyone. How noble, Volkov's tone turns cold. And how stupid. You think Sokolov won't move on the moment you're gone? You think you're special to him. You're a toy girl. Something new and shiny to play with until he gets bored. Even if that were true, I wouldn't help you. Then you're choosing the wrong side. A pause. But perhaps you need motivation. Check your email. I sent you something that might change your mind. The line goes dead. My laptop is still on my coffee table. With trembling hands, I open my email. The message from Volkov contains a video file. I shouldn't open it. I open it. It's security footage from inside Nikolai's gallery. Time-stamped from 2 weeks ago, before we met. He's there with a man I don't recognize, and they're arguing. No sound, but I can read the tension in both their bodies. Then Nikolai pulls out a gun and shoots the man. 3 times. Center mass. The man drops. Nikolai makes a phone call, and within minutes, 2 other men appear. They wrap the body in plastic and carry it away while Nikolai calmly wipes down his gun. The video ends. He has a man inside my security company, Nikolai says quietly. He's been trying to gather leverage for months. I'm going to be sick. I run to the bathroom and barely make it before I'm vomiting, my entire body shaking. I knew what Nikolai was. I knew he'd killed people. He told me himself, 17 men with his own hands. But knowing and seeing are different things. The man in the video didn't look like a threat. He looked scared. And Nikolai shot him with the same calm precision he uses for everything else. My phone buzzes with a text from Volkov's number. Still think he's worth protecting. He's a monster, Clara. And monsters don't change, not even for idealistic journalists. Help me stop him before he hurts anyone else you care about. I lean against the bathroom wall, my vision blurring with tears. 3 days ago, I was a journalist with integrity and a clear sense of right and wrong. Now I'm a woman who fell for a murderer and destroyed her career in the process. What have I done? I spend the rest of the day in a fog. I don't eat. I don't answer most of my messages. I just sit on my couch replaying the same 2 images over and over. Nikolai's mouth on mine, and Nikolai's hand tightening on a gun. Knowing he's killed people and seeing him do it are 2 different things. The man in the video didn't look like a faceless threat. He looked scared, and Nikolai shot him anyway, calm, efficient, like it was just another task. My phone rings again. This time it's a number I recognize, one of my NYPD sources. Clara? Finally, I need to warn you. There's chatter about you and Sokolov. Dmitry Volkov is asking questions, making noises. You need to be careful. He already called me, I say. My voice sounds flat. He tried to get me to inform on Nikolai. Then you're in the crosshairs, he says bluntly. If Volkov thinks you're useful, he'll squeeze you. If he decides you're not, he'll remove you. Go somewhere safe. Don't stay in your apartment alone. When the call ends, the silence presses in. Not safe with Nikolai. Not safe without him. Not safe anywhere. This is what my father must have felt at the end. Trapped between truth and survival, integrity and fear. He chose truth, and it killed him. It's dark when someone knocks on my door. I freeze. I'm not expecting anyone. Didn't order food. All my friends know I've been buried in work. The knock comes again, harder. Clara, open the door, Nikolai. Relief and terror flood through me in equal measure. I shouldn't be relieved. I shouldn't want to see him. Not after the video. Not after what I know he's capable of. I open the door anyway. He's still in his suit from this morning, but it's rumpled now. His tie is loose, and there are shadows under his eyes like he hasn't slept. Like he's been up all day dealing with whatever crisis is brewing in his world. Volkov contacted you, he says, without preamble. It's not a question. How did you? Because I have his phones tapped. I heard the entire conversation. He pushes past me into the apartment. And I know he sent you the video. My stomach twists. So you know I saw me kill Viktor Petrov. Yes. He turns to face me, and his expression is unreadable. He was stealing from me, not money that I could forgive. He was trafficking children through my shipping routes without my knowledge or permission. When I found out, I gave him one chance to stop. He laughed at me. The floor tilts under me. Children? 12 girls, ages 8 to 14. Being moved from Eastern Europe to buyers in New York. His jaw is tight. I got the girls out. Got them to safe houses, to organizations that could help them. And then I put a bullet in the man responsible. You killed him. Yes. No hesitation. No justification beyond what he's already said. And I'd do it again. Some sins don't deserve forgiveness, Clara. They deserve punishment. I sink onto my couch, my legs suddenly unable to hold me. You could have called the police, turned him in. Let the system would have let him walk on a technicality. You know it as well as I do. He crouches in front of me, hands on my knees like this morning, like nothing has changed. I'm not a good man. I've told you this. But I have lines I won't cross, and anyone who crosses them signs their own death warrant. That doesn't make it right. No, it makes it necessary. His eyes search mine. I know what you saw scared you. I know it confirmed everything you believe about me. But I'm not sorry I killed him. And I won't apologize for protecting those girls the only way I knew how. This is insane. I'm shaking again. You're a vigilante, a murderer, and I'm sitting here listening to you justify it, like there's a version of this where it's okay. There isn't a version where it's okay. His voice softens. There's just a version where it was necessary, and a version where I live with the cost of that necessity. I can't. The words catch in my throat. I can't be with someone who kills people, Nikolai. Even if they deserve it. Even if you have reasons. I can't. I know. He stands, and the loss of his touch makes me want to cry. I knew when I showed you my world that eventually you'd see something that would break us. I just didn't think it would be this soon. Then why are you here? Because Volkov is coming for you. His voice turns hard. And despite the fact that you walked away from me this morning, despite the fact that you've made it very clear I mean less to you than your career, I'm not letting him hurt you. I never said you meant less. You chose, Clara. That's the same thing. He pulls out his phone, makes a call. Mikhail, I need a security detail at Clara Thorne's address. Now. He hangs up. You'll have protection outside your building. Armed guards. They'll keep you safe until this situation with Volkov is resolved. I don't want your protection. Too bad. You have it anyway. He heads for the door. Stay inside. Don't answer calls from numbers you don't know. And if you're smart, you'll seriously consider Volkov's offer to help you. I'm on my feet in an instant. What? He turns, and his smile is bitter. You want to save your career? Give Volkov information on me. Nothing that would get me killed. He won't risk open war, but enough to satisfy him. Enough to buy back your job and your reputation. You're asking me to betray you? I'm giving you permission. He opens the door. Because that's what you do when you love someone, right? You give them what they need, even when it destroys you. And you, Clara Thorne, need your integrity more than you need me. Nikolai. But he's already gone, the door closing softly behind him. And I'm left standing in my empty apartment, finally understanding that I've made the biggest mistake of my life. Because he's right. I do need my integrity, but I need him more. I don't sleep that night either. I sit at my window watching Nikolai's guards patrol the street below. 3 men in dark suits, trying and failing to look inconspicuous. Protection I don't want from a man I can't stop thinking about. At 4 a.m., clarity hits me like ice water. I've been asking the wrong question. It's not, can I be with a man like Nikolai? It's, can I live without him? And the answer, the terrifying, career-destroying, soul-shattering answer, is no. My father died chasing truth. But what's the point of truth if you lose everything that makes life worth living in the process? What's the point of integrity if you're alone with it? Nikolai isn't a good man. He'll never be a good man by conventional standards. But he's my man. Or he was before I threw it away. I grab my phone with shaking hands and dial the number I'm not supposed to have anymore. He answers on the first ring. Clara. Just my name, rough with exhaustion or emotion or both. I made a mistake, I say. This morning, walking away, choosing my career over you. I made a mistake. Silence. Then, don't do this. Do what? Come back to me because you're scared. Because Volkov is a threat. Because you need protection. His voice is raw. I can't be the man you run to when you're out of options, Clara. I can't survive being chosen as the lesser evil. That's not what this is. Then what is it? He sounds exhausted. You were right this morning. We're from different worlds. We want different things. You need truth and light, and I live in shadows and blood. That doesn't change just because you're lonely at 4 a.m. I'm not lonely. I'm in love with you. The confession tears out of me. I'm completely, terrifyingly in love with you, and I don't care if it's only been 3 days, or if it's illogical, or if it destroys my career. I love you, Nikolai Sokolov. I love the monster and the man and everything in between. The silence stretches so long, I think he's hung up. Say that again, he finally whispers. I love you, and I'm sorry I was too scared to see it this morning. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry. Where are you right now? My apartment, where your guards are watching me like I'm some kind of prisoner. Stay there. I'm coming. Nikolai, wait. But he's already gone. He arrives 20 minutes later. I barely get the door open before he's inside, backing me against the wall, his hands framing my face with a desperation that steals my breath. Say it again, he demands. Look at me and say it again. I love you. Tears are streaming down my face now. I love you so much it terrifies me. You terrify me, but living without you terrifies me more. He kisses me like a drowning man finding air, like I'm the only thing keeping him tethered to this world. His mouth is fierce and claiming, and I kiss him back with equal desperation, trying to pour everything I couldn't say this morning into this moment. I'm sorry, I gasp between kisses. I'm so sorry. Stop apologizing. His forehead presses against mine. You weren't wrong. I am dangerous. I will bring darkness into your life. Loving me will cost you things. I don't care. You should. But his hands are gentle as they wipe away my tears. Your career? I'll figure it out. I'll freelance. I'll write books. I'll find another way. I grip his jacket, holding him close. But I won't lose you. Not again. Not when I finally understand what we have. And what do we have? Something worth fighting for. I meet his eyes, letting him see everything I feel. Something worth the cost. He kisses me again, softer this time. Reverent. I love you, he says against my lips. I've been in love with you since I watched you argue with that waiter about the wine list in your second article. Since before I ever saw your face, and I will love you until the day I die. That's very dramatic. I'm Russian. We're dramatic about love. His smile is devastating. Get dressed. We need to leave. Now. Why? What's happening? Volkov made his move an hour ago. He tried to hit one of my warehouses. Nikolai's expression darkens. My men stopped him, but he's escalating. And the longer you're in this apartment, the more exposed you are. Where are we going? Somewhere safe. Somewhere he can't reach you while I end this. He cups my face. Trust me, with my life. Safe turns out to be a house in the Catskills. We drive through the pre-dawn darkness in an armored SUV with 2 additional vehicles flanking us. Nikolai makes calls in rapid Russian the entire time, his hand never leaving mine. The house is beautiful, secluded, surrounded by woods with sightlines that even I can tell are strategic. Inside, it's warm and lived in, completely unlike his minimalist penthouse. This was my mother's, he says, watching me take it in. My father gave it to her as a wedding present. After she died, I couldn't sell it. Couldn't change anything. It's the only place I've ever felt. He trails off. Safe, I finish. Human. He pulls me close. I'm bringing you here because it's the only place in the world that's truly mine, where I can keep you protected while I handle Volkov. What are you going to do? What I should have done months ago. End this territorial dispute permanently. His eyes are hard. He threatened you, Clara. He sent you that video to manipulate you. He put a target on your back the moment he learned you mattered to me. That's unforgivable. Nikolai, I'm not asking for permission. His voice gentles. But I'm asking you to stay here, to be safe, to let me protect what's mine. I'm not a possession. No, you're everything. He kisses my forehead. Which is why I need to know you're here, untouchable, so I can focus on eliminating the threat without worrying that he'll. His phone rings. He glances at it, and his entire body goes rigid. What? They found Marcus Chen. His voice is ice. Volkov has your editor. The world tilts. What? How? He's using him as leverage. Wants to trade him for you. Nikolai is already moving toward the door. Stay here. My men will guard you. Don't leave this house for any reason. I'm coming with you. No. He rounds on me, and for the first time, there's real fear in his eyes. This is exactly what he wants. To draw you out, to use you against me. I won't risk it. Marcus is in danger because of me. Because I got involved with you. I can't just hide here while... You can, and you will. His hands grip my shoulders. Clara, listen to me. Volkov will kill him regardless. But if you're there, he'll kill you too. And I can survive losing anyone in this world except you. Do you understand? I will burn everything to the ground to keep you safe. But I can't do that if you're in the line of fire. I can't let Marcus die. He won't. Nikolai's voice is absolute certainty. I'll get him out. I'll handle Volkov. But I need you here. I need to know you're safe so I can do what needs to be done. I want to argue. Every instinct is screaming at me to go with him. But I can see the fear beneath his control, the desperation in his eyes. Promise me you'll bring him back, I whisper. I promise. He kisses me hard and fast. And then I'm coming back to you. And we're going to have a very long conversation about our future, our together future. What kind of conversation? His smile is dark and possessive. The kind that ends with you wearing my ring and my name. The kind where you're mine in every way that matters. My heart stutters. Nikolai, stay safe, Clara. That's all I ask. Then he's gone, and I'm left with 4 armed guards and a terror that threatens to consume me. The waiting is agony. I wear grooves into the floor, check the windows, check my phone, ask the guards for updates they won't give. Hours stretch into something that feels like days. When engines finally rumble up the drive, my heart nearly stops. I'm on the porch before the vehicles fully roll to a stop. Nikolai climbs out first. There's blood on his shirt, but he's upright, eyes sharp. Not mine, he says when he sees my face. His arms come around me, solid and warm. It's done. Volkov is dead. His people are scattered. You're safe. Marcus? Shaken, but alive. He nods toward my editor being checked over by one of the guards. He didn't give you up. Not once. Relief hits so hard my knees buckle. Nikolai holds me up, his mouth against my hair. It's over, he murmurs. It's finally over. Later, after Marcus has been sent to a hospital to be checked out, and Nikolai has showered and changed, we sit on the porch watching the first stars appear above the tree line. The night smells like pine and wood smoke, and something that feels like possibility. Marcus knows, I say. About us. About everything. He told me you're the best journalist he's ever worked with, Nikolai says, arm tightening around my waist. And that if I hurt you, he'll find a creative way to make me regret it. I huff out a laugh. What did you say? That if I hurt you, I'd deserve whatever he did. He turns me to face him, and I see something I've never seen in his eyes before. Naked uncertainty. Clara, I meant what I said earlier. About our future. About wanting you permanently. We've known each other less than a week, I whisper. I knew the moment you looked at me in that restaurant. Everything since has just been me trying to catch up. His hand finds mine. He's trembling, just a little. I'm not a patient man. I'm not a good man. But I'm your man, if you'll have me. So, he takes a steadying breath. Marry me, not today, not tomorrow. But soon. Let me spend the rest of my life proving that monsters can love as fiercely as heroes, that we're stronger together than apart. Tears blur the stars. I think of my father, of the career already half in ruins, of the world I'm choosing. And then I think of the man in front of me, the monster who saves girls in the dark and looks at me like I'm something holy. Yes, I breathe. Yes, I'll marry you. The kiss that follows isn't desperate or punishing. It's a vow. When we finally part, foreheads touching, he whispers, "You'll never doubt that you're loved. You'll never doubt that you're protected. You'll never doubt that you're mine." "And you're mine," I answer. His smile is soft and almost disbelieving. Always was, from the moment you stole my table. We stay there until the sky is fully dark, wrapped around each other, planning a future that would have terrified me a week ago. I'm not afraid anymore. I was his captive at that table. I became his obsession in that gallery. Now I'm his equal, his partner, his future. And this dark, bloody world, somehow, impossibly, it feels like home. 3 months later. The wedding is small, private, just a handful of people in the library of his mother's house, our house now. Marcus attends, having brokered a deal that lets me write as an independent consultant without compromising the Observer's ethics policy. My first piece, about organized crime's role in stopping human trafficking, is nominated for a major journalism award. We disclosed my marriage in the byline. The judges knew exactly whose world I'd lived in to write it. I wear white. Nikolai wears black. The symbolism isn't lost on anyone. When he slides the ring onto my finger, his hand is steady, mine is trembling. "You're sure?" he murmurs, so only I can hear. I've never been more sure of anything. The kiss we share as husband and wife is witnessed by the guards who've become friends, by Marcus, who's become family, by the ghosts of our past that we're finally learning to live with. That night, in the bedroom that overlooks the woods, Nikolai finally makes me his completely. There's no holding back this time, no restraint, no pulling away before the edge. Just him and me, and the love we've built in the ruins of everything we thought we knew. "I love you," he breathes against my skin. "My wife, my Clara." "I love you," I answer. "My husband, my Nikolai." And as he pulls me closer, claiming me in the most primal way possible, I finally understand what it means to be whole. I was looking for truth my entire life. I found it in the arms of a monster who taught me that the biggest truth of all is love. And love, I've learned, doesn't ask permission. It doesn't follow rules. It doesn't care about ethics or careers or the difference between light and dark. It just is, fierce and consuming and absolutely worth every cost.